Guys, I'm about ready to lose it. I'm having a time. I'm trying to get this set up. Honestly, let's just rewind. I'm having a week, okay? I tried to join an intramural kickball team because something in my soul, when that opportunity presented itself, said that I should absolutely go after that. I should try that. And I'm trying to listen to my intuition and I'm trying to, like, be guided by my highest self or a higher power or the universe or God or like whatever it is that works for you. I'm trying to hear those messages and listen to it and go with it. And so I joined the fucking team, okay? And literally 2 minutes into the game, a ball goes over my head. I'm in the outfield and I take off running at full speed after it. And I come to an immediate stop to pick up the ball. And my knee that I had a previous ACL surgery slash injury on literally completely buckled. Like, I don't know what word to use. The top part of my leg, like my femur went one way and the bottom part of my leg went the other way, and my knee just was destroyed. Like, I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital. I didn't, because mama didn't raise no bitch, but I was not well. My friend had to pick me up because I couldn't walk back to my car. My dad had to come out to the city because nobody can drive stick. It was a nightmare. And so I had to stay home from work and work remote on Thursday because I couldn't go into the office. I couldn't get up the steps of the train. My stair or my apartment building doesn't have an elevator, so I had to I was literally sitting on my butt and like maneuvering up and down the stairs. It's still not great. It's still not well. Everything is taking me so much longer than it needs to. And if you're here with me on YouTube, you might have noticed that I'm currently sitting in a different location. I am trying to test out different locations, but it is Sunday night, guys. Like, I'm supposed to be publishing this tonight at midnight, which, I'm sorry, you're probably not hearing this first thing Monday morning, because let's just be honest with myself right now. But I I've just been having a time, essentially, is my point. And it's funny because I'm mostly ranting to you because I have to just vent it out. Otherwise I'm gonna collapse. I also look like I just like crawled out of a hole. It's a whole thing. Hopefully you're listening to this and you're not on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, knock it off. Like, go listen to it somewhere. This is not the episode for this. Anyways, I um wanted it's kind of funny because I wasn't even trying to like do a cute little lead in. I just again was like ranting to my friends, but it does kind of correlate with what we're going to be talking about today, which is doing everything exactly right. Like, doing this prescribed thing, and then you will become the highest version of yourself. You'll get as connected with that version of you and become that version of you as much as possible. And it's funny because it really turns spirituality or like inner growth, inner wisdom, just your own like self improvement journey into another thing to be a perfectionist about. And it just doesn't work. It actually blocks the shit out of your growth when you go about it this way. And so I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about what approaches you could use to try to ease that a little bit, because just me saying to you like, stop being a perfectionist about it, bestie, that's not gonna work. Like, that doesn't work. Like, it still shows up. And one of the biggest mind-blowing things that I've realized as of late is how easily we trick ourselves inside of our own mind. Like, we think that we would be able to spot when things are going a little haywire, like when we are being a perfectionist, or when we're falling into toxic habits, or when we're being triggered by something and we're acting in a certain way because we were triggered by it. But the truth is it feels very normal when it's happening because you're unaware that it's happening. And so the more self-awareness that you can get is the better things will get for you. But like, still, no matter how self-aware you are, when you kind of slip back into these patterns or slip into these patterns, it really a lot of the time is pretty undetectable. So we've got to build our muscle and get vigilant, because it be happening. All right, it's happening. And if you are a person that has ever felt like you had to check things off of a list or do specific acts, And unless you do those specific things, then you won't be in alignment with your higher self. This is an episode that is 100% absolutely for you. I think one of the most common examples of this that I can definitely relate to is with a morning routine. I, for whatever reason, thought that if, honestly, I say a morning routine, but like a daily routine, like just like how I went about my day to day life, I thought that I had to do the things that looked good on paper in order to consider myself well. Like I had to make sure that I was flawlessly doing a skin routine every night, and that skin routine was using the top products and several products that I was reading, and I was drinking a certain amount of water, and I was exercising in the morning, and I was meditating, and I was reading self-improvement and for fun, like two different types of reading. What else would I do? Meal prepping. I mean, all the things that you can think of, that yoga that you see on the internet, going for a walk, whatever you see, you think that like unless you engage in these practices every single day without fail until the day you die, that you can't consider yourself well. And honestly, I'm calling bullshit on it. Like, I think it's bullshit that you have to do certain prescribed steps in order to consider yourself a well person. I think you're a well person when you feel good, when you enjoy your life, and that you're not doing specific things that would, like I said, on paper, consider yourself well, like by some specific aesthetic, or like by society standards, by social media standards, that like then you're a well person. I think you're a well person if you feel good and you're relaxed and you're at ease. Like there, especially like in dating for me, like there's things that I think that I'm supposed to be doing, or like things that I'm supposed to, like rules I'm supposed to abide by. And when I realize that I don't have to do those things, I just have to do whatever the fuck I want to do, it literally makes my entire body relax. Like it's crazy. And I just think, like, there's so many areas of our life that this applies to. So this episode is really going to get us to relax, enjoy our life, do what makes us feel good, regardless of what we've been told countless times that we're supposed to do. Make sure to do your one good deed this week and rate and review the show. It really does help get the show out to more like-minded listeners like you and I that are trying to live their life a little bit more wellishly. I do also want to encourage you to do right by yourself as well, because we all have to take care of ourselves a little bit too, and subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode of Wellish. So there's this like huge fucking paradox that's happening, right? That we think that we are trying to self-improve to become more peaceful and to allow growth to come into our life and allow goodness to come into our life. And through that, live a life that feels good and is full of surrender and full of peacefulness and happiness. Like those are the feelings that we're trying to go after when we say that we want to like grow and self-improve and all of the things, right? So, but then we get perfectionist about it, and perfectionism is all about rigidity and control and trying to make sure that things go exactly the way that we need them to go, because if they don't go that way, then everything's going to go to shit and everything's going to suck and my life's going to suck and I'm never going to amount to anything and I'm never going to have a life that I'm proud of. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, the way that we can think about this and perceive this. And so it's just like one big gigantic mess of a paradox. And the more that we pigeonhole ourselves into this perfectionist mindset, is the farther and farther away we get from what we're actually trying to achieve by doing all of this work that we're being perfectionists about. And if you're listening to this and you're not 100% sure if that's you, what this looks like is anytime that you ever feel like guilty because you're not doing something. Like every morning when I would wake up, I would feel so guilty that I wasn't going to the gym, even though I didn't feel like it. It wasn't that, I just wasn't into it at that point in my life. I had burnt myself out on going to the gym. I didn't want to go anymore. But every morning without fail, my first waking feeling was guilt. And like, what a shitty way to start the day. And it shows up in our obsession. Like we get obsessed with these routines and these practices and these things that we have to do, and making sure that we're following this specific path in order to become the version of us that we are working so hard to become. And it's just like the only thing we can think about, or we beat ourselves up when we're not following the path that we said that we were going to, or doing the practices that we said that we were going to. We put this self growth work on our productivity list, and it's just like another chore added to our day. And I'm so guilty of this, that like I will literally put my self work stuff on my to do list. Like I literally will write it down and cross it off as I do specific things, because in my brain, like I get it so deep into my head that if I follow a prescription, like if I follow this specific plan, and like I'll have ChatGPT make me this like whole program, this 30-day become this thing, or master this idea, and if I follow it to a T every single day, then like I'll transform into this being that I want to be, and I'll have everything that I ever wanted. And every single time it never works. And what ends up happening is I don't feel good. I don't get growth because I'm being so rigid and using it as just another excuse to beat myself up. Like I'm using it as another thing to set these like rules for myself. And when I inevitably break the rules, I'm like, wow, you have no discipline. Wow, you suck. Wow, you're never going to achieve anything. Wow, you can't stick to anything. And none of that is true. I literally don't give myself enough credit for how much I try, and like how good of a job I do. Like I genuinely don't know anybody else that strives to be the best version of themselves like I do. Now, I know that there's people out there that exist, but like I don't give myself enough credit for how much work I do genuinely put into myself. And instead of thinking of all of the ways that I could be better at the self growth and what I don't have and like why I can't figure it out, and if I could just do this thing then, and focused on like I mean, you still are pointed in the direction of, trying to be better, but like being able to stand now in the truth of that, you're good, dog. Everything's all right. Everything's gonna be okay. I think another big sign of this that I also was really guilty of is that I only was in alignment, or like felt like I was my highest self on days that were going well, like on days that were good. And when there were bad days, I was like, I suck. I'm not that person. You know what I mean? But now I do genuinely feel like the best version of myself every single day, even if the day isn't going well. And that just comes from self-compassion. You know what I mean? Like that just strictly comes from like knowing that I am that person, and that my feelings don't dictate my worth. My feelings don't dictate my self-esteem. My feelings don't dictate how I identify. Like I am that person that experiences those feelings. And that's as simple as that. And sometimes when I have those feelings, I'm better at aligning my behavior with how my highest self would handle that situation than other times. And that doesn't mean that I'm more her on those days than I'm not. I'm just her consistently, but it's just life, dog. Like sometimes you just handle things better than other days, and that's okay. And we do it because it's connected to all of these deeper meanings, like worthiness and fear and control and anxiety and depression, whatever your shtick is, whatever your hang up is. It The reason that we do this perfectionist behavior is because of the deeper rooted wound that you experience. So again, you have to like really get to the core of what that is and what's driving your behavior, because it all comes down to a core wound. And I think that what we tell ourselves is that, like I was saying, like about the prescriptions that I would create for me, is that you say like, if I can follow this routine, then I won't have that wound anymore. Like then that wound can't be true, because this will prove that it's not true. And that's just not how that works. It's just not how it works, and it sucks. I wish that it did, but the only thing that works is healing the fuck out of that wound, and that takes patience, time, and continuous disciplined effort. But social media and our society nowadays makes it look so easy, like makes getting to the other side and being like this wonderful radiating being, it seems so accessible because we see people with their perfect morning routines and their perfect houses and their lots of money and their perfect life and their perfect family and their perfect relationship. And we see like all of the manifestation success stories and all of the content about like follow these 5 tips and you'll be the most confident that girl that has ever walked the planet, you know? And so it makes you feel like we can follow these prescriptions to a T. And become, if we do it perfectly, it logically makes sense that we would then become that person. But when we get into that obsessive perfectionist mentality, all it does is move us farther away from her because we don't feel good about ourselves. We don't feel good inside of our lives. And what happens is it disconnects us from our intuition because we're thinking in this like rigid planning, doing mode that we're not getting quiet enough. Like we will our brains will not allow us to get quiet enough to hear our intuition. Like your intuition is not going to get louder. You have to get quieter. You have to allow your mind to rest. And when your mind is just like in your ear the whole fucking day, you're never going to hear your intuition. And it replaces surrender with performance because it can feel like you can mix those two things up. Like you think that you're just surrendering to what's happening, but really and you think that because like you're doing the things that you want to do because you do want to do this in this perfectionist way. You do and the thing is too is the things that you're doing to be well and like to get more in alignment with your highest self do make you feel good. Like when you're exercising consistently, when you're drinking water consistently, when you're going and spending time outside, when you're spending time with friends and family, when you're reading self-improvement books, when you're doing all of these things, like those things do make you feel good. So you confuse this idea that like you're surrendering and doing what you want to do and just going with the flow and trying to do right by you. You confuse it with performance because you're not doing those things because you just genuinely rolled over and you feel like doing it, just like when you genuinely roll over and you pick up your phone and start scrolling, or when you pull up your favorite show. No, when you do those things, you beat yourself up over it. But you're doing these because you feel like you should. You're doing these things because you feel like you're supposed to, compared to because they are just something that you actually want to do. But when you get to a space that you say to yourself, like, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing, and you don't focus on being perfect with it, you find because you know that those things make you feel good, you do end up doing them anyways. You just do them from a place of authenticity instead of performance. Like you do them because you just genuinely feel like reading out of the self-improvement book today. You do the meditation because you can feel yourself getting elevated and in your head and you know that that will help you. So I'm just going to step outside and do a 10-minute meditation. And that could be the first meditation you did this week. It'll be the only meditation you did this week. It's not like you have to follow this specific thing in order to be good enough. It's that you're integrating it into the way that you live your life. And that integration is what makes you well and gets you connected with your highest self more than anything. Like instead of turning spirituality and becoming your highest self into another hustle, like it totally gives hustle culture, like by doing that. And it's so funny because we're taking these things that are all about like peace and serenity and loving yourself and being like, I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to do it right. And then I'm going to become the person that I want to be. And it's just not that. Like it just doesn't work like that. And by allowing it, things aren't going to go perfect. Like if you just surrender and let things play out however they're going to play out, and you control the only things that you can control, which are you and how you react and how you perceive and how you behave. If you only focus on those things and you just surrender, you could picture that things aren't going to go perfectly. Like people aren't going to act in specific ways that you've manipulated them into behaving as. Like, did I say that right? You get what I mean. And like just life in general. Like if you're trying to control how everything plays out, like no, it's never going to be perfect. Like when you do those things, it's not perfect. And when you surrender, it's not going to be perfect. Like the only way you are going, and so either way, you want to enjoy your life. So which way is going to get you there quicker? If you're white knuckling everything in your life and things don't go well, or things don't go perfect, I should say, or if you just surrender and relax and let things play out however they're supposed to and enjoy the ride and things don't go perfectly, like which one sounds more appealing? Because I know what route I'm choosing. So if the perfectionist mindset doesn't bring the results that we want, if it doesn't bring the growth, what does bring the growth? And that, what I'm really learning is embodiment. Like it is being inside of your body compared to being up in your head all the time. Because when you're up in your head all of the time, it's like we're escaping into these ideas about our higher self and like who we want to be and like living in this like crafted, curated reality in our head that we will eventually one day reach if I could just get everything right, compared to like living in the present and living genuinely inside of our bodies and experiencing our lives inside of like who we are today, right now, right in this moment. And you're probably like, what are you talking about, dude? Because that's not going to get me anywhere. Like, I'm not going to get to the place that I want to be. Like, I've got goals. I want to reach those goals. I want to feel good. I want to feel like the highest version of myself. And this isn't a podcast telling you how you're going to, and I'm going to say this because I feel like this is what a lot of fucking videos and podcasts leave out, is that everything is always marketed to us like it's going to get us all of our hopes and dreams. And like I love that idea. I will keep watching those videos. I will keep trying those things. But you know, let's be honest here. That hasn't happened for me. Like I you sit here and you go on social media and you see like, oh, this person's engaged, married, children, career shift. I made all this money, drives this nice car, does all these things. And it's kind of like, hi, where's my time? Hello? Like, was I forgotten about? Like, I'm working so hard on myself all of the time, and I feel like I don't have fucking jack to show for it. And so it's just kind of like, I want to stop being misled into thinking that if I just live in the moment and surrender, that's when all my manifestations will come. I'm going to keep listening to that and hoping for it. I'm going to reiterate that again. But my point in this is not how to feel like your highest self with receiving all of the externals. It's being able to just be in your life right now as it is and still feel like your highest self, because I genuinely can tune into that now. Like I genuinely do feel like that version of me without having any of the external like pizzazz happening inside of my life. And so I just think it's so important to know that this what I'm sharing with you isn't me saying like when you do these things you'll receive all of this external, because I can't say that because that's not what my life looks like. But my life does look like feeling really really in alignment with the highest version of myself, like feeling really truly like I am my most aligned self more than I literally ever have been, and it radiates off of me. Like when I walk around, I feel like I'm like floating. Like it's such a high. It feels so good, and I can tune into it every single day of my life now. Like every single day. If I don't feel like that most of the day, I can at least feel like it once. Like on the worst day, I can at least feel like it one time. And so what I'm telling you is that if you move into this embodiment idea and you're paying attention to like sensations, like how your posture is and how you feel when you walk and how you're holding your head up like when you're walking around, if you're looking straight out in front of you or if you're looking down at the ground or hunched over your phone. And even when the bad feelings come up, like let's say you're feeling anxiety, like that you can just observe the fact that you are feeling that anxiety and not try to fucking fix it. You just are going to say, "Oh my god, I feel anxious. Oh my god, I feel anxious." I literally noticed this week that when I have like major, like I'm getting major anxiety, I literally, and I want you to know the only time that that actually happened to me this week was because I put a ring on my finger and I couldn't get it off and I was gonna fucking lose my mind because I was like, I already hurt my knee and I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital and have this ring cut off my finger. What am I gonna? I was just panicking. So, but I noticed, and when I was like in the depths of my really horrible breakup, I would literally like hold myself in the shower and rock back and forth. And what I would do is go, and it's literally a lullaby that my mom used to sing to me when I was a child. Rock and sing, rock and sing to Sarah. Bro, my mom, if she's listening to this right now, it's probably like, what the fuck, bro? It, like the depths of my motherfucking brain did that crawl out of to like self-soothe. I just thought that was so funny. But my point is like literally like you feel the anxiety and you just like notice that that's happening and you rock and sing, bitch. Like you just kind of vibe it out and do what you can. Like I constantly am making noises. Like I know the people in my life are kind of probably always like, like what's going on over there, but I literally be like, bah, man, phew, okay. Or I'll just like break out in song, like whatever, like whatever, like to kind of like break that pattern. It's like I try to do something to like break myself out of it, but I'm not trying to problem solve and fix it. Like I used to sit there and ruminate on whatever I was anxious about because I thought that if I could just figure it out in my head, then it would go away. When the truth is I just have to break the pattern and then choose another thought consciously. And other ways you can do this are like dancing, walking, crying, like doing things like in your body with the intention to get connected with your highest self. Like they're thinking about building a friendship with you. And another one I love is like listening to your body first as a form of intuition. Like so much of our intuition does happen inside of our head for a lot of us. I mean, obviously it presents itself different for different people, but the most common is by thoughts in your head and just like an inner knowing. But I think a big one that a lot of us miss is the way that our body speaks to us. Like our mind says one thing and our body does another. Like if someone makes your heart race, or somebody makes you feel tensed up, or somebody makes like you get like bad anxiety, or compared to like excited anxiety, like paying attention to the way that your body responds in certain situations and knowing that that's also your intuition that you should be paying attention to, because your mind will lie to you, like your body doesn't lie to you, but your mind will lie to you all day long. And this is like what I was saying at the beginning, is that because it's us, because it's our brain, we convince ourselves that it's true. Like we mistake a lot of that bullshit as logic. And really it's just our brain in this like self-protection survival mode, trying to not get hurt again from what's hurt us so badly in the past. And the intuition too, like shows up. Like I feel like there's this like conception. I'm trying to say the opposite of misconception, so I'm gonna go conception, but I don't think that's right. But I think that there is this idea. How about that? Is that good? That we will have these like intuitive moments when we like meditate, or we're doing like we really try to like tune in to what with ourselves or whatever. And like don't get me wrong, intuition does show up during those times, like when you're journaling, or when you're on a walk, or when you're trying to listen to it a little bit more, get quiet and listen to it a little bit more. But it also shows up like random as fuck, like while you're taking the trash out, and you're just like you're allowing yourself to experience taking the trash out, as silly as that sounds. That it's like while you're doing that, you're not going, okay, and then I've got to clean the bathroom, and then I've got to do the laundry, and then I've got to make my bed, and then I got to clean the cat box, and then I got to put my stuff away, and then I got, like it's like if you're quiet enough to just be like, taking the trash out, I wonder if I'll see any cute little rat friends out in the alley today, then you can actually hear your intuition a hell of a lot better. And it's the day-to-day stuff that if you can train your brain to stop being so chaotic, in your regular everyday life compared to like in those intentional moments when you're trying to calm your brain down and like get in the habit of just making it quieter all of the time is when you'll be so much more susceptible to hearing your intuition. I think too, like when I think of my higher self, like I always thought of this like sparkling, walking on water, like immortal, above human being that is so unachievable. You know what I mean? Like that's just never something that we're going to get to because, like, hey, shout out, we're human. So I think that this mindset shift allows that humanity. And by allowing humanity, you're allowing imperfection. Like literally right now, like just for the hell of it, let's do a little hangout moment. We can all do it together. Like if you put your hand on your heart and you take a deep breath and like feel your heartbeat. Like I can feel mine. And it's just kind of like a reminder that like, hi, I'm here. I'm literally here right now, just vibing, just trying to enjoy the max 100 years I've been given. Like most of us don't even get that. That's all you get. How exciting that you've been given an opportunity for that, to have that. And like your heart beating signifies that opportunity and like you're here and you're right now, so enjoy it. Stop fucking being so mean to my friend. Like stop trying to make it so hard for you. It's okay. Like you're allowed to be the highest version of yourself now without all of the fucking proof that you are. Think about like where in your life, let me ask you this. Where in your life are you trying to get it all right compared to just being able to just experience it? Because like for me, I like one of the most important things for me is being able to like experience as much life as possible. Like that is like where like my biggest concern lies and where I feel like if I am 80 years old and I look back on my life, I will feel like I fucked it all up if I don't experience as much as life has to offer as possible. So like that doesn't mean, and like it used to mean for me, especially with like the glorified shit on social media, it used to mean traveling the world and going to expensive places and wearing expensive clothes and having a crazy career and like doing like all of this like crazy fucking stuff. But it doesn't have to be. It can be ordinary things. Like it can be going on a date with somebody that you've never met, or it could be buying your friend a ticket to a concert and being able to like go do that together for her birthday. It can be doing something that you've never done, something that like when you were a kid you always wanted to do this thing, and so I'm going to go and I'm going to do it now. Like it can be commuting to work on the train. It can be reading a certain amount of books in a year. It can be making your house look as close to what your dream home would look like. Like it just isn't that serious. It's just collecting experiences. Like what are things that you just assume you will do in your life that aren't going to the Great Wall of China? While that is a cool one to have on there and definitely something to strive for, but like what things do you just assume that you're going to do in your life that you haven't yet, that you really could make the effort to do? And if you don't want to do those things, that's another separate question to evaluate, like why you think you want to do that, because I absolutely do the shit out of that all the time. But it's just something to think about. I want to integrate this into our everyday life because, like, for the love of God, I thought that this was so magical and that it would be just like so obvious that we were living in a higher vibration, more sparkly reality. And like, that's just for the love of God, not what that is. It's just not what it looks like. It's not what it feels like. It's not what it is. I cannot express that enough. Stop chasing this high vibration and just notice what's here. Like it's feeling irritated about something and then just being gentle with yourself and like being able to notice the irritation and be like, it's all right. We're going to get it figured out. It doesn't matter whether I freak out and get ragey or not. I still have to solve the problem. And like that is what gets you connected with your higher self and makes you feel proud of yourself. It makes you feel like you're walking on water. When you've lived so much of your life allowing your emotions and your thoughts to dictate how you live, when you get into the driver's seat of that is what feels powerful and magical. But it's not like it looks like some magical thing in life, like some sparkly life experience. And the other thing I think to really master here is the intuition over imitation. And that's so real with social media and like this, how our society is set up, is that we think that we have to follow these fucking prescription paths, that we have to do these certain acts. And that's when we can consider ourselves well because it looks good on paper, or for better use of the analogy, what looks good on Instagram or on TikTok, like to make our lives look like this aesthetic video that we see on the internet. But that is not what works. It's listening to your intuition and doing what makes you feel good, doing what you intuitively want to do, what your inner wisdom is telling you to do, not what you think you're supposed to do. Like you're doing what feels right, not what everybody else says would be right to do. So like if you say to yourself that you're going to journal every single day this week, and then one of the days you wake up and you feel like going for a walk outside, but fuck, I told myself that I was going to journal every single day this week. Fuck the journaling entry. Go for a walk if you feel like going for a goddamn walk. Both of those things will make you feel good and you're doing right by you. And maybe after you go for that walk, you'll get home and you'll be like, I definitely still want to journal. And then you genuinely do it, not because you're like, oh, I said I was going to do that today, so I have to force my schedule to make this work now. No, like if it works for your schedule and you just genuinely feel like journaling, then go for it. Like stop forcing it and making yourself miserable. There's so much good in the simple things. And it took me so long, and honestly, a lot of like fucked upness in my life to realize that truth, that there is just so much good in the simple stuff, like not needing to have a whole like meditation pillow, lighting, incense, sounds, routine. It's literally just like maybe meditating while you wash the dishes. Like if that's where it fits in for you, and you can just vibe and tune in and focus on your breath. Or like another time that I think is good is like while I'm driving, because you're just focused on the road and you're not thinking about 1,000 things and you're focusing on your breath and meditating in that sense, maybe painting, maybe, whatever it is that works for you. But that it can be something that's more ordinary and simple. And it doesn't have to be rigidity and perfection and aesthetic. Instead of constantly asking yourself, like, am I doing this right? You should be asking yourself, like, am I here for it? Like, do I want this? Does this make me feel good? Am I able to experience it in a way that I'm like, I love this. I can just experience this and enjoy it. Or are you like, okay, got it, done, checked off, time to do the next thing? Like, how are you executing it? And are you here for it? Like, are you vibing with it? Because the most thing that you can do is actually just live your life. Like, we do all of this self-improvement not to say, like, we're not going to get an award for it. Like, you're not going to get a certificate for the self-improvement that you've done. And like, now, oh, you are the most self-improved person. You did it. Good job. You win. Like, that's not a thing. Like, we do the self-improvement so that we can enjoy our lives. So allow yourself to enjoy your life. Question of the week. This one is a little bit related. That's why I chose it. So it says, how do you tell the difference between genuinely growing and just trying to become the better version of yourself because you think who you are now isn't enough? I keep catching myself chasing goals that feel like they're coming from insecurity, not inspiration, but I can't always tell the difference. Okay, I think this is really real because I think that a lot of the things that we do, like a lot of the ways that we live our lives and like the projects that we create for ourselves do come from a wounded place. Like the things that we are very passionate about and want to do things up for or about or whatever, like do come from our deepest rooted wounds. So it is like a real thing, but I don't think that because it's an insecurity of yours, it doesn't have to be your inspiration. Like, I think both are allowed to be true. I think it's just important to explore the insecurity and the deep wound. And maybe when you do that and you start to heal that wound, the things that you are inspired to do, you won't feel inspired to do anymore because you won't need them in order to fill the gaping hole of your wound. You'll be patching and healing that up with the work that you're putting into yourself to heal it, or you'll be even more inspired and passionate about it because it was something that it was so personal to you and important to you, and then find inspiration from it. So I loved that question. I think that, like, I do think it's a little bit of both. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys 1,000 times, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.